Hello everyone, I am Orina Bordhon. In today's episode of Bookmarked, I am going to review a collection of essays named Writing the City, Looking Within, Looking Without. The essays have been written by celebrated authors of English and has been edited by Stuti Khanna. Stuti Khanna, an Associate Professor of Literature in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, IIT Delhi, took upon this humongous task of collating 14 rich essays on memories of homelands, literary influences, and most importantly, explorations of city in the lives of these writers. These are celebrated Indian writers in English, practicing writing both within the country and outside. However, each one of them has had a remarkable influence of India in their minds when they ventured into writing. By way of introducing the subject matter of the book, Stuti Khanna explores the context through George Zimmel's phenomenal book, The Metropolis and Mental Life. Here, Zimmel attempts to analyze the effects of the big city on the mind of the individual. Zimmel explores how the human mind gets developed, altered, or perhaps refined based on the metropolitan life one is associated with. Moreover, metropolitan or city life strikes an elaborate difference from that of the rural life, wherein dynamics of relationships, interactions, and most importantly, ends are quite different. The attitudes and behaviors of the city dweller is fundamentally different to an individual who inhabits rural life. The psychology of the city dweller therefore exhibits what Zimmel describes as adaptations and adjustments, which ultimately reflects the structures of the metropolis. Zimmel characterizes rural life as a combination of meaningful relationships established over time. These kind of relationships cannot be established in a metropolis for a number of reasons, like anonymity, number of vendors, etc. And as a result, the city dweller can only establish a relationship with currency, money, and exchange becomes medium, within which the city dweller invests their trust. Ms. Khanna mentions how Zimmel writes about capitalist modernity and its influence on everyday life and interactions between individuals, which is that of superficiality and calculation. Authors from different timelines and geographical locations have used cities as the backdrop, influence, and reference point for their respective pieces of literature. Sketches of cities have undergone changes with time. Capitalist or industrialized society, or later on the post-industrial society, has put on different kind of images of the city. For example, as Ms. Khanna writes, Charles Dickens' novels presents a socio-economic geography of the fractured, divided, but composite city space that is fundamentally interlinked. Class divisions have been fracturing city space, be it in Victorian London or post-liberalization Delhi. Authors like Gabriel Garcia Marquez or Salman Rushdie have geographically located their respective novels within the physical territory of their homelands, such as that of colonized Latin America and post-independent India. Despite their geographical and historical specificities, each of their literary works have found universal leadership, wherein the trajectory of time and geographical space floats through one's imaginary space, capturing realism through empathy. This unique collection of city writings successfully captures the essence of city life based on personalized experiences and how literature emanates from those domains of familiarity. The first of the 14 is an account of author Chandrahas Chaudhary, how two of the Indian cities of Bombay and Delhi has influenced or inspired his literary intellect. Bombay, before it took the name of Mumbai, has been his home city, infested with innumerable memories of childhood and adulthood. The train journeys, the changing histories of Bombay, the subtler meanings of expression on natives' faces are all too familiar to the author, creating and building subjective identities of self. His first novel was set out in 1990s Bombay, when the city was undergoing huge political turmoil. But this was also a time when Hindi films became larger than life, occupying huge space within the hearts and minds of Indians. And all these dichotomies, all these episodes are very much visible in his writings. The author was being privileged enough to observe Delhi life too in his college days, and he's being able to draw comparison between the two metropolitan cities. What he observed was the difference in treatment of people from differing socio-economic backgrounds between both the cities. He writes in his essay how his memories of the city of Bombay has played a crucial role in him becoming a fictional writer and developing his selfhood. Zach Oya, a Swedish detective novelist who settled in Bangalore, bases all his detective novels in this cosmopolitan city of Bangalore. By way of reflecting his experiences of the city and how the city has influenced his writings, the author points out uncanny familiarity between the Indian city with his homeland of Sweden. These two geographical places, despite their territorial differentiations, finds commonality in the mind of the author. It is the mind that travels across time and place, and it is an author's imagination that transforms a regular place to an extraordinary one, and thus Zach Oya builds his adventures. His sites of adventures are based on those places. Taking cue of his autobiographical memory of Nepal, Samrat Upadhyay writes how the city has influenced a great deal and has influenced in his writings of God in Kathmandu, Arresting God in Kathmandu, and other stories. He explores concepts of detachment, spiritual awakening among people of his city, and as a native of the place, he always found it to be extremely rewarding enough to have been able to empathize with his characters. A reader of the book will be continually reminded of the necessity to attach personal experiences while writing any literary piece. How familiar worlds play a role in crafting works of fiction. Such an example can be drawn from Siddharth Chaudhary's essay in this collection on his roots in Bihar. How he found his literary influences within the heart of Bihar, how each and every memory, both happy and sad, leaves behind a lifelong impression within the minds of the dwellers. Each of these essays in this collection, in this wonderful collection, leaves an everlasting impression in the minds of the readers, just as it did to me, by drafting beautifully images of places that are unknown to the readers but familiar to the authors. Siliguri, Bangalore, Kolkata, Delhi, Bombay, Kathmandu all stand as epitome of modernization in this 21st century. We can get to know about these cities from travel books or through our personal explorations to these places. But familiarity can only be achieved if we are able to imbibe the city within us. Author Shumona Roy very successfully captures several childhood scenes from her house in Siliguri. She describes the house they lived in, the games all of the cousins played together in their courtyard, the neighborhood and the unique culture, habits of the inhabitants of the place. Most of the authors in this collection mentions that it is not only their home cities or work cities that have shaped their literary mindset and helped them to wander throughout the path of their creativity. Rather, even through the writings of others, that these authors have explored the unfamiliar world and made those worlds familiar to them. Authors like Anis Salim prefer to put their inspirational places to be unknown. Readers will get to know only about his experiences or the author's experiences and anecdotes and not know the name of the place. It is so because in the mind of the reader, it is always a version of one's interpretation, unknown cities and places take its own unique shape in the minds of the readers, which may be different from the author's. However, it is the task of the author to help its reader transport to a world which is imaginary and yet very much realistic. For some writers like Manju Kapoor, writing involves research. She prefers to move around places with her camera and diary in hand, converse with people and get to know more about the inner lives of the inhabitants of the particular places. Being a Delhite, Kapoor knows certain places from the back of her hand. To write about the rest of the places that are unknown to her, she needs to conduct in-depth research. These derivations and observations of research have played an integral role in drafting her unique pieces of literature. It is not only about the metropolitan cities such as Calcutta, Bombay, Bangalore, etc. But this collection of essays also explores lives in small towns such as that of Goya. Tabish Khair's childhood was spent in this small town of Goya. He writes of how these places such as Goya are small towns only by definition. However, the cultural inclination, tastes in literature, food, education supersedes the boundary of small town and becomes a metropolitan in its approach and in its mindset. Authors such as Cyrus Mistry, by way of sharing his experiences of his hometown Bombay, states his reason behind staying in the city for the rest of his life. However, he mentions the political conflict, the fundamentalist ideals that has shrouded the country of India into complete darkness. On one hand, he shares his fondness towards the city, and on the other hand, he shares his utter hopelessness with regard to the turn of political events in the country. Thus, each of the writers in this collection presents memories of their childhood, adulthood, professional and personal development as associated with respective city life. Each of the essays show how city becomes a character, inspiration, and often a silent spectator in their individual works of literature. When a writer belongs from a certain city, as in when he or she is able to empathize with the soul of the city and its people, there is no need to explore the nuances of the city life separately. There is no need to explore the nuances of the city life separately by the author. However, when a writer visits a city out of professional or personal reason, he or she feels the urge to know its pulse by meeting and interacting with the natives and also visiting areas that best describes the soul of the city. Such an example can be given with respect to the experiences shared by Anita Nair, who mentions how she got to know about the city of Bangalore by visiting the most notorious of places. Similar such beautiful experiences and anecdotes are shared by each of these 14 celebrated South Asian writers with regard to their version of city life and how art, politics, culture and sociality finds its uniqueness in each of these cities and which in turn inspires the writer to write their specific piece. Nostalgia finds a strong place in these intriguing essays that pushes them to pursue their passion of writing. City thus finds meaning in their essays, and the familiarity of one's city experiences drive them towards their unique style of writing. I really enjoyed reading this collection. I hope you will also feel the same. Thank you.